and behavior of many of the protesters repugnant, the exchange itself is a solemn reminder of those who have sacrificed so much to preserve our freedom, especially our freedom of speech. Let me be clear. I do not question the sincerity of anyone on either side of the issue. I think there is genuine concern among many in this country about the war. But while we can respect the legitimate worries about the war and can respect the sincerity of even the most radical protesters, we must recognize that words have meaning and actions have consequences. Some of the hateful words that have come out of Berkeley, California have had real consequences on our troops, their families, and our recruiting. One of those who spoke at the City Council meeting was Debbie Lee of Arizona, whose son Mark was the first Navy SEAL to die in the Iraq War. She demanded an apology from the council, and she said, "My son gave up his life for you." Lee told the council as she clutched his framed picture, "I'm appalled at what you did," referring to the council's vote on Marine recruiters. Debbie Parrish, another military mom whose son Victor is currently serving in Iraq, said to the Berkeley City Council, "It's despicable what you said about our military. It's very, very sad. Shame on you." After all the testimony from the military supporters and family, the Berkeley City Council could only muster the votes to not send a letter insulting the U.S. Marines by calling them uninvited and unwelcome intruders. Let's be clear here. They did not apologize for the letter. They just didn't mail it. Of course, the sending of the letter at this point is inconsequential, given that the text of the letter has been running on national television for a week. The City Council also modified one of its past resolutions to recognize the recruiter's right to locate in our city and the right of others to protest or support their presence. But the resolution also stated that the City Council opposes the recruitment of our young people into this war. A resolution proposing a formal apology to the Marines failed. The City Council also voted to let 4 additional items passed at last week's meeting stand. One resolution encouraged all people to avoid cooperation with the Marine Corps' recruiting station. A second one requested that the city attorney investigate if the Marines are in violation of Berkeley's policy against discrimination based on sexual orientation. In addition, 2 resolutions giving the radical anti-war group Code Pink a weekly parking space and a weekly sound permit to protest the Marine recruiting stations were upheld by the Council's decision. It was my hope that the city would apologize, revoke its previous resolutions, and move on. The Council chose not to do that. We have no choice but to acknowledge the reality of what they have done and to defend our military recruiters who are doing the job we asked them to do. If we don't take action, we'll be sending a message to other towns or cities that they can use their power to try to influence U.S. foreign policy thwarting our recruitment efforts. Mr. President, this issue is not about free speech. It's about a city that has shown total disdain for our armed forces and used its official government powers to harass our military as they try to keep our country safe. And this amendment is not about forcing the city to change its mind. It is about whether we are going to shower the city with favors, with special goodies that do not meet national needs. I think the American people have spoken loud and clear that they do not believe that that should be the case. There's a video with clips of the City Council meeting on YouTube. It has been viewed by over 200,000 people. It's the 70th most viewed video this week, the 11th most viewed video in the news and politics. 767 people have posted comments, overwhelming in support of the legislation. People are paying attention. I am amazed at the response I have received regarding my public outrage over the City of Berkeley's behavior. My office has received thousands of calls and letters from military supporters all over the country. On Wednesday afternoon, I received a call from Sergeant James Stroh of the U.S. Marine Corps. Sergeant Stroh is currently fighting to protect our freedom in Kuwait. Sergeant Stroh understands that the Marine recruiters in Berkeley are going through quite well because he served as he knows what they're going through because he's been a recruiter himself for 7 years. And he said that he just told me that his folks serving with him wanted to thank those of us who were standing up for them while they were fighting for our country. After talking with the sergeant, I decided it would be a good idea to call the Marines and the Berkeley recruiting station to ask how they were holding up amidst all the controversy. I talked to Gunnery Sergeant Rick Ofrente, who seemed to be taking the events in stride. He even said that a number of citizens of Berkeley had come into the recruitment office, brought them food, and some had apologized for the actions of the council. Mr. President, I guess I've said enough about all of what we're hearing. I've got pages and pages of comments from people who are asking us to stand up for our Marines while they're fighting for us.